And welcome back from that very, very short intermission. Luckily, shouldn't be any delays this time getting into Game 2 on the docket here, but St. Clair took care of Boston University in a very, very convincing 2-0 fashion. Map 2 especially, they pretty much pitched the total shutout, so a lot of momentum riding on. They are the 2 seed, and they're playing Anderson University, which is I believe the 31 seed in the tournament, so definitely a little bit of an uneven matchup, but in tournaments like this, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, Anderson University definitely going to be the underdogs coming into this match. They are a bit of a newer team, but you know, every story's got to start somewhere, right? So if Anderson University is to end up as one of the big dogs, this is their time to show at. And, you know, St. Clair, hopefully they don't underestimate anything going into this. Hoping to see them continue to play at that same dominant level that we just saw them clearly display in their match against Boston, and I'm sure they'll have no trouble.
Yeah, I really want to just the key on, they did such a good job with that dive and that brawl comp, especially Boston kind of almost ego challenging them to okay, we're gonna run this comp knowing okay, you guys are really good at it, but we're gonna try to flip the script on you a little bit. But such a good job by them to just hang in there. A little bit of struggles in the first map, but once they got over that, they just pretty much flew flawlessly to the finish line there. Just really, really good job. And now, you think they're gonna try to maybe, because we're gonna have the same, I think we're gonna have the same game mode order again, so it'll be control, hybrid, and then escort, I believe was the order. So what do you think, the Saints just try to maybe go back to the same thing for control, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing, or you just kind of wait to see what kind of comps come out?
Honestly, I think that, like you said, if it ain't broke, then you don't really got to change things up, because the way Saints were playing, especially on Gardens and on Night Market, the way we saw, they clearly knew exactly what they wanted to do, and they did a great job of accomplishing it. So unless Anderson University has any kind of curveballs to really throw at them, I don't think there's going to be any kind of trouble with St. Clair continuing to run what they've been running. And, you know, it is a very popular comp to run on that map, so it's possible that we see Anderson University just try and, come out with that mirror, run, a kind of 6-man based stuff as well. And at that point, it'll just be, you know, who's better, right? Who's going to, when it comes to that 1v1 matchup, it really just comes down to who can play it better, who has the better teamwork, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. And, there is a chance that Anderson decides to try and maybe take something out of Boston's playbook where they try and switch things up a bit, maybe try and pull out a Farah. But we'll have to see. We're going to be heading into map here in just a second. The first point we're going to be seeing is Lijiang Control Center. This is one of those points that we talked about where that brawl is very good, as well as running some kind of spam double shield elements within that brawl. So Reinhardt Sigma, very good. Reinhardt Diva, very good. Running stuff like Junkrat, Sim, very, very strong. And we'll have to see what they decide to run here.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing about having teams that we maybe not as familiar with, or new teams, because they might, obviously there's the standard comp that, especially how long Overwatch has been out, there's certain things that just work well against certain other things, but curious to see if there's any adaptations, any wrinkles. But just as you said, looks like Junkrat and Reinhardt gonna go double shield to Lucio, because you know got a lot of area to be mobile on the top part there, on that top platform in the control center. But pretty say decently standard team for comparable sides here.
For sure.
Very excited to see how it's going to play.
We do have to point out that a substitution is actually coming from the side of St. Clair. It is going to be Hyun stepping in for G-Scales. So with that, that tells me that they're probably going to be looking to run a lot more Sigma. And, you know, given that what we're seeing right now, they're definitely going to be leaning into that. Comp is pretty much exactly what we expected, that double shield kind of hybrid with the brawl. And immediately, St. Clair is going to be looking to take all this space, blocking off that highway. Emran on the Junkrat just going to be throwing in tons of damage. The lamp already forced out there from the side of Ashland? Ashland University. It was very, St. Clair, they're moving in. They're just kind of dominating, rolling over, and really dominant first fight. You can see Emran, in fact, he's already built up a rib tire. So you can tell, the angles that he's able to take with that Junkrat and how many tight corridors are on this map, they enable the Junkrat so well. He's able to do so much damage, and right away, he's going to have that ult in order to kind of deny any kind of push that tries to come in here. The tire coming out already. Ooh, through a TP. A really nice immortality field. It managed to save them. But Emran and Hyun, they're going to be running forward, and it's going to be Emran. He's picking up all the kills.
Oh my goodness.
He's just not even letting them get back to spawn. That was kind of disgusting almost.
This is the definition of bully ball by the Saints right now. They walked forward.
He gets another one.
And they have not
the moment he walked out of spawn.
Emran looking like Steph Curry with 30 from way downtown, just popping off these shots. Man. No one from Ashland can even barely walk out of the spawn. The Saints in total control right now. And as you said, that rip tire.
And now Gravitic Flux is actually coming out from Hyun. The spawn camp is real here.
And now Squeak does have the Shadow line as well. Is going to find the solo kill under Reinhardt. Squeak is going to fall for a shovel to Neptune. But Saints once again just doing such a good job. Emran laying into the side of Ashland right now, and Saints just are they're literally not even giving an inch of space to walk onto near this point. They can't even get out of the spawn, let alone get to the point.
Hyun and Emran are being steel curtains at the moment, just unable to no one on the side of AE or AU Esports can even find any kind of opening because there's just so much damage. Now we're going to see the VAP window coming out from Arjun, which is going to amplify all that spam damage. Tyre is going to come out from Neptune, see if he can find a pick. He is able to find Crime, and Vasuki actually managed to follow up with Fire Strike onto Arjun. So now St. Clair, they're going to be down 2. This is their best chance to find pick, but Squeak uses the Shatter and the beat comes out from Redx, and now St. Clair, they're looking to try and fight this. Neptune is going to be able to find Squeak, so still a good chance of a win here for the side of AU Esports, and Memes is able to take out Emran. Yeah, Emran's first death that game, I believe, finally falls, but St. Clair, they're still fighting this. They're still stalling it out. Arjun has actually come back and finds a pick immediately onto his counterpart, that other Baptiste. Crime back as well, finds another pick. St. Clair, against all odds, are actually going to manage to keep holding on to this by the looks of it. Emran has swapped back into that Tracer. The Simwall comes out from Cheesy Dance there, but it doesn't even matter. St. Clair, they defied the odds. They were down 2 people, had pretty much no ults, but they just find all the picks just off the back of mechanics and ability usage, really.
I think they just found 8 or 9 picks in a row from going from a man disadvantage to finding, I think that's 8 straight picks, and just like that, Ashland not able to touch the point, and St. Clair, that's about as good as you can ask. Besides, I think they only really died to ultimates that entire game. They died once to the Tyre. I think maybe a Shatter kill came in too, and just, that was absolute domination in Emran. That first half of that round, just oppressive.
Yeah, St. Clair had really no right winning this, and we see this is that recontest there. AU Esports, they completely thought they were in control of the point. They thought it was just cleanup at that point, right? They had the opening picks. They thought they were just going to go and clean up, but just out of nowhere, St. Clair is able to find those picks, and they held control of the point so well. They kept putting members on, always keeping a body there, keeping that point ticking up. And it was just a beautiful performance. Now we are going to be going over here to Night Market. This is where we saw St. Clair with a dominant performance in their last game. And AU Esports is going to be trying something a bit new. They're going to be running an Echo here, which you don't really see too often paired with a Brawl comp. And this might be why, because right away, St. Clair, they run forward and they just start demolishing the opposition. Just slammed straight into them, deleted them with all that damage. Squeak leading the charge there. Beautiful stuff. And it is going to be first cap going over to the side of St. Clair.
To get an almost team kill in the first team fight of the game, let alone the first 15 seconds of the game, they almost pulled off a team kill. I think Echo was the only sole survivor for Ashland University. St. Clair, they really know they can put pressure on people, and they are confident in their ability, and you can see it. They are afraid to take no fight against no man. They fear nothing. They are just ready for it, and every single time they get in there, they get their hands dirty, and so far, they are getting the work done.
Absolutely, and you just look at the difference in ult charge between Vasuki and Squeak here. Squeak with that Shatter, uses it, lays it down, doesn't quite find any picks off the back of that, but it doesn't even matter because St. Clair is able to just keep walking forward, and they're finding all the picks. You can see Memes is trying to see if he can get his team out alive, but it's just not going to work, and he does end up being taken out in the end. Kieran was able to find a D-Mech onto Hyun. He was just going to jump off the map, get that reset on the mech. But at this point, you might say, oh, this is AU Esports' chance. They're up a member. Hyun is still coming back from spawn. But St. Clair, they've won 4v6 before, so St. Clair, they're still very confident that they can keep holding this, and especially with the ults they're going to have online. They almost have that sim wall. They have the Deadeye. Hyun almost has that Diva Bomb. A nice TP play comes out there from the side of AE, but it's not going to be enough to find anything. Squeak, blocks the Shatter. Really nice stuff from him. Hyun actually finds an environmental kill onto Memes. And St. Clair just once again with complete domination. Hyun does finally get taken out, but again, doesn't even really matter at this point.
This is just such good work out of the Saints. Everything is just working so well in harmony. The Crime shots have been right on. Any stun comes through, he's immediately following with the headshots. Now, Shatter's online. They have the beat online. Emran got an ulti in the back pocket as well. Arjun very, very close to getting that wall. We'll have it for the next fight. And the side of Ashland, you have a couple ultimates, but you have pretty low charge on a few of your heroes as well. And St. Clair right now, as we said, already at 85%. Ashland hasn't really found a way to kind of break ground in St. Clair's face there, and so far, Shatter is going to come through TP. Shatter going to find multiple. Going to go for the charge as well. Going to get the pin on the Diva. Trying to find the kill here. Great job by Squeak on the Shatter there. Now St. Clair should be able to clean up this fight, and they would think they will clean up the map as well.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there from St. Clair. Ashland just not at all ready for that TP play coming through. And, you really got to look at that Echo pick. You stuck with it the whole round, forced it into like the brawl mirror almost, and by the end of it, you're banking on that echo copy, and you just end up copying the Sim, who just gets ran over, right? So it was, you know, I gotta give him credit for throwing a curveball. They tried something new, but St. Clair just looked completely dominant there.
Yeah, I respect the curveball, but you have to throw the curveball in the strike zone, and St. Clair was just sitting on that one ready. They took it deep. Crime once again going to get play of the game. Beautiful job setting up the Deadeye. Just even if you don't find the kills, just to force that space and then able to find the pick still eventually, and then look at just every single shot, just right on target, doing such a good job. Echo trying to get away off into space there. Crime not allowing anything to happen, and St. Clair just picking up right where they left off against Boston. I mean, the 2 seed and the 31 seed maybe meant a little more than we were thinking, but St. Clair, the way they're playing right now, this confidence and this ability to work off each other, this team could go on a run.
Absolutely, yeah. They're just, you know, they're clearly warmed up at this point. They're firing on all cylinders. Everyone, like even with that substitution in Hyun coming in for G Skills, they didn't skip a beat. Yep. They went with it, and it's like nothing even changed. It's just another absolute domination coming out from the side of St. Clair. And now it is going to be Ashland's map pick. So while we wait for that to come out, actually it looks like it's just come in. It is going to be Kings Row, or as we've affectionately dubbed here on the broadcast, Saints Row, because for years at this point it has been Kings Row has been a very, very good map for St. Clair. You know, these brawl comps that St. Clair has just demonstrated they look amazing on. Kings Row lends itself very much to those kinds of comps. So Ashland, we're gonna have to see what they want to pull out here, because it's kind of like what happened with Boston, right? Like, you pick a map that favors the thing that you just kind of got rolled by. So clearly there's got to be some kind of strategy going on here. Maybe they're going to try and do that Echo Brawl thing again. We'll have to see if maybe it'll work better on Kings Row than it did on Lijiang. But either way, they're definitely going to want to have some kind of plan here, because otherwise Saints are going to be very comfortable. Yeah,
and that's the only tough thing. If your team, maybe Ashland and maybe Boston as well, maybe they play like a really, really good dive or a brawl, but unfortunately you run into a team that plays it better, and especially at maps like Kings Row. I think we saw the Saints thrive, not only thrive, like they excelled on Kings Row. Let's say we call it Saints Row. They did such a good job the last few years, and now if they can take this comp and play how they played the last couple maps, what kind of answer, even if they don't run the same like standard brawl comp, what kind of answer, what kind of wrinkle do you think Ashland could maybe try to throw in there to either catch the Saints off guard or try to maybe like help isolate one of the members? Because right now the Saints, the biggest thing is the DPS just isn't dying. Everyone is doing a great job frontlining and keeping the DPS alive, but ultimately them not dying, they can just get so much value out of it the entire time they're alive. And honestly, we've seen no answer right now. What do you think the best way that another team could try to like gang up to take Crime and get Emran out of those fights?
Honestly, at this point, I think your best bet is going to be, like, if you want to throw a wrench into Saints' plans, you're going to Kings Row, don't play Brawl. Like, pull out maybe like a 6-man, maybe try and do like a spam comp, double shield. But if you continue to play Brawl at this point, especially given how they played Brawl there on Lijiang Night Market, like running the Echo, to me, that kind of says we're not really comfortable on Brawl.
Yeah.
We're not comfortable running the Cass or the Mei or the Sim. We have to like try and change things up. We have to try and, you know, kind of carve out our own path.
Yeah.
And, you know, in some cases that's great, especially like against teams that are kind of like equal in skill level. But when you're trying to punch up, sometimes that's not going to be enough. You gotta try and do something else. So I think their best chance here is going to be maybe try to run double shield, or maybe try to run some more off meta things that stuff that like Saints hasn't practiced for, and stuff that's not just brawl comp with one character change.
Yeah, and that's why I was curious, because obviously Ashland doesn't want to play outside of themselves. They don't want to get out of their game as well, but ultimately running a standard comp against St. Clair, how they've been playing, I don't think you're really going to find the results that you want. So that's why I was thinking maybe they go for some adaptation. They try to find some other way to find a chink in the armor to create some hole otherwise. But right now, it looks like we're going to see a couple of long-range DPS. Obviously, for the beginning of Kings Row, you're going to have a lot of chance to get those early picks, those early skirmishes. So both sides going to go for a little bit of long-range DPS to start things off. But I'd be curious to see how Ashland adjusts when the round begins.
For sure, yeah. If they do end up sticking with this Hanzo, it is something that can work. Or even like the Ashe. Like, the only problem you have when you're running these long-range characters in a brawl is that if St. Clair manages to use a Mei wall to isolate, then that DPS is pretty much removed from the fight. They can't find their angles, they can't deal the damage that they're looking to deal. And from there, St. Clair is just able to have all the damage advantage in that close-range brawl. So Ashland, they're going to have some real nice positioning here. And we actually see a role swap here from Ashland. Memes is going to be on the Diva, and Kieran is going to be on the main support there on that Lucio. So maybe this is the curveball that we were talking about. And so far, it seems like it's working just a little bit. Red X does take out Cheesy Dance, but gets traded out with a pick onto Squeak. And Ashland, they are going to have that spawn advantage. So finding a 1-to-1 trade here does actually work in their favor. Now, Crime is going to be on a bit of a flank here, seeing if he can... the maps have kind of flipped at this point. Ashland have rotated into the defensive area, whereas St. Clair, they're kind of coming from the attacker's side now. But like we said, that spawn advantage is going to be coming back here. Squeak does make it back. Cheesy Dance actually swaps to a Widowmaker. Neptune doing a great job of finding picks, though. And Crime is going to be rotating around to that high ground. And St. Clair doing a great job of finding the damage. Ooh, a nice pick from Cheesy Dance. But he gets taken out by a Fire Strike from Squeak. Really nice stuff from Squeak there, you know. Coming back from spawn, finds some quick picks with Fire Strike. And Crime, you know, never one to miss a shot. He's going to be coming back, and he finds the picks for himself as well. And so, honestly, I did like what we saw from Ashland there. They, you know, they tried something very different. They rotated all the way around using that Ash, swapping to a Widowmaker, and it did net them a tick, but now St. Clair, they have a great ult advantage coming into this next fight. And we'll have to see if anything happens with it. Squeak goes for the Shatter here, doesn't quite find anyone, and now we'll see if Ashland can respond. But the D.Va is not able to find... Ooh, actually, a nice pick coming out from Prime. D.Va was not able to eat that Blizzard, so everyone from the side of Ashland just got frozen up, and St. Clair, they were able to walk forward and just clean up all those kills.
Yeah, St. Clair gonna find the team kill on the back there, and such a good job. Squeak did such a good job the last time when Ashland was pushing that point. Squeak able to hold the point, find 3 kills, able to set up Crime able to find 2 kills. Now Ashland, a lot of ultimates in the back pocket, got the Deadeye, got the wall, and had the beat as well, so they're definitely going to try to make a play on the Saints. Or D.Va Bomb also pretty close to being Proctor as well.
Oh,
Saints, no. A little bit of work with Emran is going to find the kill on the Cheesy, so a massive pick to start the fight off. Now Emran once again is trying to get that massive damage, and Squeak driving in that front line. Gonna go for the charge, gonna get picked off. Crime with a great shot on Fasuki there. And Saints once again gonna be at the man advantage. Crime gonna find another 2 tanks down. And Ashland just down to 3 members, and no way to really push this point. So once again, the Saints gonna buy themselves some time.
And that was Ashland's best chance to push there, because they, you know, St. Clair, they didn't really have that many ults, but St. Clair, now they're gonna have the Lucio beat, the D.Va Bomb, and Crime getting very close to that Deadeye as well. Now, Ashland, they do have ults of their own, and we actually see a swap coming out. Oh, again, a first pick coming out from Squeak. Emran finds a second. Crime cleans up with a pick onto Kieran. Does get taken out by the D.Va Bomb, but Emran and Squeak once again just there to continue cleaning up. Red X is going to go forward, just continue speeding his team up, and Cheesy Dance just cannot live.
And the Saints get 3 ultimates out of that fight. Not one member of St. Clair falls, and they get 3 members of Ashland. They drop the Reinhardt, the Lucio, and the D.Va, all fall mid-ultimate. Death Blossom doesn't find any value as well, so now you're just sitting on the wall in the Deadeye, which is great, but St. Clair now, 4 ultimates online to play with. They don't even need to burn them yet.
And we see Emran is on a bit of a sneaky angle here, kind of behind them. He does go behind and gets picked off, wasn't quite able to find it, but the Fire Strike coming in from Squeak is able to take out Revalia. Once again, we're in a 5v5 scenario. Deadeye coming out there from Crime is able to do a lot of spacing. Squeak just takes his Ryan almost to his own spawn, and Ashland, once again, they've just been completely dismantled.
Yeah, they just seem like once they get that first pick or 2, they kind of just fall apart. They haven't really been able to group these ultimates. We haven't seen any of the ultimates get supreme value. We saw a great job on Neptune to watch that flank, hold the back line down, make sure St. Clair can't break them apart from the inside. But when you're not getting any value out of your ultimates, and that's kind of what you're investing for at this point, only 13 seconds left, you're basically trying to play for some ultimate plays. And now St. Clair, the May ult is online, the Reinhardt Shatter is online, Deadeye damn close to being
a huge shatter.
Shatter by gonna knock down 4, it looks like. 2 gonna fall for Ashland, 3 gonna fall, 4 gonna fall to our junket. Just like that, Ashland gonna get wiped off of the area, and St. Clair should be able to clean this one up.
Yeah, that's just going to be complete domination there from St. Clair. Squeak found the shatter that he needed to hit the most, right? Like, that was just a clean 5-man shatter. Only person it missed was that Reaper. But, you know, if missing one person doesn't really matter when the entire rest of your team gets laid out on the ground and turned into ground beef.
Wow. Just marvel at the work again. Just such a look at just so many yellow members on the floor. I think that was a 5-man shatter.
Yeah,
and it ends up resulting in, I think, essentially a team kill. Even if it wasn't, 5 ended up dead. D.Va was 1 HP. So just such a good job by the Saints there, and they just keep one-upping their performance map to map. I don't know, can they keep escalating this?
Yeah, at this point, you really got to look over at the side of Ashland, kind of wonder like what's going on. Like, you have Cheesy Dancer, who's kind of playing mystery heroes here. You know, started on the Hanzo, then swapped to Ash, then went back to it, then went to Widow, back to Ash, then swapped to Reaper for the final fight. Like, it does seem like Ashland just doesn't really understand what they want to do with this Brawl comp, which really makes you question why they picked such a Brawl favored map here. But St. Clair, they are going to be going into their attacking round now. Right away, we're seeing some interesting stuff coming out here from Ashland. I don't know if they'll be sticking with this. if they do decide to stick with this, I can't say I'm a huge fan because this is what we, for anyone who's not familiar, we like to call this a cheese comp because it's easy to play and it's very easy to get value from. But that's usually in like ranked and quick play, not in actual tournaments where teams have lots of communication and high-level strats. So this could go very wrong for Ashland, but there is a chance that it catches St. Clair off guard. Then St. Clair running this like Doomfist Zarya, it doesn't look like they've predicted this Bastion. So this is actually a good chance for Ashland to make the most of the fact that they have this Bastion, because getting there with the Doomfist and with the Zarya is going to be pretty difficult. The Bastion is going to be able to very much shred those shields, especially the Doomfist is going to be very able to just completely shred him if he tries to get close, and we see right away he gets taken out. That's kind of what we expected there. Now Squeak does go for a charge, actually takes out the Bastion with that pin there, and somehow St. Clair, they're actually managing to keep finding these picks. Basuki is able to find a pick onto Squeak, but Redix is able to trade out, and now Hyun finds another pick. And St. Clair, despite losing their Doomfist early on, they just walked onto point and they're continuing to find picks. And now there's no one left from Ashland who can come to contest. They swapped the ball, but it's not going to quite make it.
Wow.
That's going to be another 2-0 for the side of St. Clair College.
Yeah, and you nailed it perfectly. The second they made that read, they were able to just like regroup. Once the Doomfist running into the Bastion, obviously pretty bad mismatch because you have you use your fists against a machine gun. So the range thing is definitely going to be an issue. But Saints just they closed the gap there, they closed the range, they got in close, and once they made that read and got in there was just nothing they could do. Look at Squeak once again. Just let's watch it one more time from the play of the game. The 5-man shatter on the previous point there, just excellent job by the Saints the entire series, the entire day so far, matter of fact, just doing everything they can in their power and just absolutely rolling so far. And another, once again, going to be their second 2-0 of the day, and in almost as convincing fashion as the first one.
Yeah, just honestly, just such a great gameplay all around. Like even when I saw those comps come out on the attacking round there on King's Row, I saw the Doomfist, I saw the Zarya, I was like, oh man, Saints aren't going to have a good time here. They're probably going to have to swap. Ashland is going to get at least one fight here that they're going to win solidly, right? But hey, they ended up, even with their Doomfist going down, they just went into point, hold up right there, right below that high ground. So the high ground characters like the Hanzo, Sigma, they weren't able to do too much without really over-peaking. Squeak went for an insane charge onto the Bastion, takes him out of the Immortality field, ends up finding the pick, and from there, Saints, they just hold their ground. Hyun's up to high charge at that point, and they can just kind of shred anyone who tries to contest the point. Yeah,
the Saints just, honestly, today, they played almost flawlessly, so we have to hope they can keep it moving forward. I think they're going to have one more game coming up at the top of the hour. I think that'll be 4 p.m. So not sure the opponent of the seed yet. We're going to get that info probably in a few minutes after the break, but we are going to cut it to a really, really quick break. We'll have to catch you guys at the top of the hour with the last game of the day for the NACE Final Showdown qualifiers.
Don't go anywhere. A TP, a really nice Immortality field. It managed to save them, but Emran and Hyun, they're going to be running forward, and it's going to be Emran. He's picking up all the kills.
Oh my goodness, he's just that Riptire.
And now Gravitic Flux is actually coming out from Hyun. The spawn camp is real here.
And now Squeak does have the Shadow online as well. Is going to find the solo kill under Reinhardt. Squeak is going to fall for a shovel to Neptune, but Saints once again just doing such a good job. Emran laying into the side of Ashland right now.
And Clair, against all odds, are actually going to manage to keep holding on to this by the looks of it. Emran is swapped back from that Tracer. The symbol comes out from Cheesy Dance there, but it doesn't even matter. St. Clair, they defied the odds. They were down two people. Two people had pretty much no ults, but they just find all the picks just off the back of mechanics and ability usage, really.
I think they just found 8 or 9 picks in a row. From going from a man disadvantage to finding, I think that's 8 straight picks, and just like that.
Trying something a bit new, they're going to be running an Echo here, which you don't really see too often paired with the Brawl comp. And this might be why, because right away, St. Clair, they run forward and they just start demolishing the opposition. Just slams straight, blocks the shatter. Really nice stuff from him. Hyun actually finds an environmental kill onto Memes. And St. Clair just once again with complete domination. Hyun does finally get taken out, but again, doesn't even really matter at this point.
This is just such good work. Already at 85%, Ashland hasn't really found a way to kind of break ground in St. Clair's face there, and so far, Shatter is going to come through TP. Shatter going to find multiple. Going to go for the charge wall, going to get the pin on the Diva. Try to find the kill here. Great job by Squeak on the Shatter there. Now St. Clair should be able to clean up this fight, and they would think
the Shatter here doesn't quite find anyone. Now we'll see if Ashland can respond, but the Diva is not able to find... actually, a nice pick coming out from Prime. Diva was not able to eat that Blizzard, so everyone from the side of Ashland just got frozen up, and St. Clair, now they're going to have the Lucio beat, the Deep Bomb, and Prime getting very close to that Deadeye as well. Now, Ashland, they do have ult of their own, and we actually see a swap coming out. Oh, again, a first pick coming out from Squeak. Emran finds a second. Prime Fire Strike coming in from Squeak is able to take out Revalia. Once again, we're in a 5v5 scenario. Deadeye coming out there from Prime is able to do a lot of facing. Squeak just takes his Ryan into almost to his own spawn. And Ashland, once again,
Deadeye damn close to the
a huge shatter
by gonna knock down 4, it looks like. 2 gonna fall for Ashland, 3 gonna fall, 4 gonna fall to our Junket. Just like that, Ashland gonna get wiped off of the area, and St. Clair should be able to clean this one
losing
up.
their Doomfist early on. They just walked on the point, and they're continuing to find picks, and now there's no one left from Ashland who can come to contest. They swap to the ball, but it's not going to quite make it. That's going to be another 2-0 for the side of St. Clair College.
Yeah, and you nailed it perfectly. It's definitely going to be an issue, but Saints just, they closed the gap there, they closed the range, they got in close, and once they made that read and got in there, there was just nothing they could do. And look at Squeak once again, just, let's watch it one more time from the play of the game. The 5-man shatter on the previous point there, just excellent job by this.
What is up, Saints Nation? I am here, joined by Matthias Eitzen and our very own Saints Varsity Overwatch Red X, coming currently hot off of a 2-0 victory, back-to-back 2-0 victories here in the NACE Starleague Final Showdown Qualifier. How you guys feeling about those games today? How you feeling going into the next one?
I feel like we came into these games really confident. We're just probably going to like win, but we have to keep taking the game seriously, even if the other teams aren't like super amazing. Because if we play like that in other games, we'll just end up getting rolled by good teams. So we have to play serious the whole way. That makes sense.
Yeah, of course. You can't underestimate any opponents. And speaking of opponents, going later on into this bracket, is there any schools you guys are looking out for? Any schools you've had to put in that extra practice hours to really prepare for?
Yeah, well, we have to play versus, I believe, Boise, Ohio State, and UTD, who are all in our bracket. And those are going to be the hard games for sure, but they're definitely winnable because we've probably kept it pretty even with most of those teams in scrims. So, but other than that, it should be pretty close.
For sure, yeah. And now, going into like some of the more gameplay decisions, I do gotta ask. Like, we saw both teams, like in both the matches, both Boston and Ashland. They ran some kind of interesting comps. Like, we saw from the side of Ashland, they ran like this semi-brawl using like an Echo and an Ash. So, did that like give you guys any trouble, or did it just kind of play right into your hands?
Not really. We just kind of played our own game. They played like 6-man with Moira on Nimbani, the first team, and that definitely was a comp. For sure.
It was certainly a game of Overwatch. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And we also, like, on the very first game that we had there against Boston, that was kind of like the only time we really saw you guys ever really struggle when they came out with that Pharah. Was that kind of just like getting back into it off the back of that huge delay at the start? Or
I didn't really sleep last night, and I roll out it into their spawn, and someone called Zenwa's bridge, so I walked over the bridge and I tried to boop him off, and then Pharah booped me in, and I died like four. I was warming up 1v1ing in like a 1v1 arena. I was not warm on Lucio. I think I died like 4 times. You can go back and watch. I died like 4 times, like in like a minute. And then after that, after like the first little struggle, I was awake. I started playing, and then after that, we're all good, no problems.
Yeah, and speaking of like, unexpected picks, unexpected comps that you guys are coming up against, how often will you guys opt to switch up your own comp to start like countering, or do you often just stick with your main comp and run with it?
Well, we kind of just play our own game, but if the other team is like causing problems, we can all like we're not like afraid to like just swap it up and like change it. That's what we've been trying to work on in scrims, because a lot of the time we've just been like playing our main comp on every single map, but more recently we're trying to like switch it up depending on what the other team plays, so we can like actually do that in games too, instead of just like one standard comp.
Of course.
Absolutely. Now, the one last thing I want to ask is that fight on Lijiang Tower against Ashland. They're on control center. They found like 3 opening picks, and you guys were able to keep stalling it out and ended up just holding on to it.
Yeah.
What was that like for you guys there in game?
I stalled there for like maybe a minute and they just didn't kill me. I don't know. It was like I was literally the only one on the point, and I touched like I think it was actually a minute. They didn't kill me on the point.
Yeah, so you gotta get that gold objective time.
Yeah. So you just kept staying alive, waited out, and then once Crime, Squeak, and all them were back,
and then we just won. Yeah,
just find the picks. Sometimes it's that simple, eh?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being here, Redix. Great game so far. And of course, we do have one more coming up. I'm sure you guys are going to show us another great performance, so we're super excited to see it.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you before you go into this next game?
We're going to keep trying our best and just keep it serious. No trolling, no BM. We're just going to win and play our own game and see what happens.
Awesome. Anything from you, Fundy?
Not really, I'm not much of an Overwatch guy myself, but good luck in the next few games you guys are gonna have. I can definitely see you guys making it all the way to Sunday with the way you're playing right now.
Absolutely. Now, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we will have our next match coming up here very, very soon. So make sure you stay tuned to the stream, and we'll be back in just a bit.
Bye.